Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are talking about where do you get your advice? Where do you get your wisdom? Is it from me? Is it from your parents? Your best friends? Motivational people you see on TV? Authors? Things you just observe? People watching? Your teachers? There are so many ways that you can find wisdom, find advice, find guidance. And I think the sources that you choose to take your wisdom from are important. They should be looked at. I am very flattered that some people take some advice from me. I think that's a really amazing thing. And I really try and give good, well-rounded advice. Obviously, sometimes I miss the mark. Sometimes I come off as tone deaf, or I'm a human. I make mistakes. I have biases. I have issues. I have experiences that prevent me from truly reaching total enlightenment. I'm attached to things on earth. I'm not a detached monk, although I do try and emulate some of my favorite ones. But where you choose to find knowledge and where you choose to get it from and then integrate it into your life is something that we should absolutely talk about. It's one of those things that I don't think has been talked about a lot, which is strange because the internet seems to be able to talk about anything in a huge amount of detail. So yeah, here we go, essentially. For me personally, most of my wisdom, if you can say that I have any wisdom at all, most of my knowledge or learning experience, I feel like I'm self-taught in some areas. My parents and grandparents were really influential in basically helping me understand the world, help me figure out what perception is, how to trust my senses, those kinds of things. I had some very good teachers in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, university. I got lucky with many of them. Some of them, like a few math teachers, were a bit difficult, but in general, I got very lucky with the wisdom I received from those kinds of people. My coaches in different sports were very important for me. Aunts and uncles, definitely a big one. Yeah, even my peers, my brother, my cousins, a lot of people like that have been very important. Friends, some of my friends' parents have also been really good sources of wisdom and knowledge. Then there's the big ones, or not the big ones. There's the famous ones like authors like Churchill, Ayn Rand. The Dalai Lama is a good example. Thich Nhat Hanh, he's a very big one. Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching. There are many big philosophers, and Marcus Aurelius, Plato, various people like that obviously give me really important ideas. They don't so much shape my perception, but they are seminal in giving me advice that I can then integrate into my life. There are a few people online that I follow daily that I think are very influential. Cameron Rosin is a good example of somebody who has been instrumental in guiding me and showing me, what's out there in the world. And, I just follow him on Instagram and his videos are really great. There are a whole bunch of people like that. Grace Helbig is a really big one. I don't know if anybody knows who she is, but very, very funny, very, very down to earth. And she just, I don't know, her videos are really good. I've been watching a lot. She's currently going through sort of her own battles with cancer and things like that, but she's able to keep a very positive and insightful thing. And so I watch her videos religiously. Marky Miller, he's a really big one for sort of gay identity and helping me sort of come to terms with that kind of stuff. So what I'm basically trying to get at is there are a lot of people in my life that I have been really incredibly lucky to learn from and to gain wisdom and insight from. And I think those sources are hugely important. You know, there's the quote about standing on the shoulders of giants, and we really take for granted all of the people, ancestors, people who invented amazing things, the people that have created our society. Um, some good, some bad, obviously. Like I'm not gonna just sugarcoat it, but we do exist on the backs of giants in terms of technology, advancement, the ability just to write knowledge down. I mean, we are the only species that is able to pass knowledge down multiple generations effectively in the form of books, in the form of media, in the form of written or oral traditions and lectures and things like that. So that gives us a pretty great edge on not having to start from scratch from every single generation. You know, like if I have kids, my kids have all of this knowledge that they can tap into, and all of these connections and people that help guide them, shape them, help them see the world in a specific way that is advantageous to who they are. And with all of this amazing ability comes some responsibility as well, because you get to choose who influences you and you get to choose what advice you bring into your daily life. So if there are negative people in your life, whoever they may be, you can choose to reject their wisdom, reject the knowledge or the things that they are trying to show you or teach you in favor of things that make you a better human being. You don't have to understand or take any knowledge from people you feel aren't the vibe, essentially. You do not have to incorporate, you know, Uncle Ted's crazy theories about the flat earth. You know, you don't have to listen to that. And, you know, when your friend Jessica talks about some ridiculous, you know, concept of, oh, did you know the queen was a lizard person? You don't have to listen to that. You can laugh, you can enjoy it, you can, you know, but you don't have to incorporate it into your worldview. You get to choose what knowledge and influence gets to influence you. And that's a pretty powerful thing. That can set you up for a lot of success. It's funny, like, you know, this discussion of like nepotism babies and this idea that, you know, your parents get you this specific job or this acting gig, or, you know, just crazily, like you just end up as like prime minister of a country just because your dad was prime minister. Like that never happens, right? That's crazy. That could never happen. No. But in this discussion, we talk about it as like it's a bad thing, and you know, corruption is corruption, and you know, sometimes it is a bad thing for sure. But it goes to show you the power of influence and the power of these connections and getting wisdom and getting skill from other people. I'm not saying that nepotism babies get some kind of special skill from the people that are in power that give them this connection, but I'm saying, you know, who you choose to have connections with can really affect your life. It can really shape what you do and how you do it and how successful you are. So I don't know, I think that's just something to keep in mind. We often seek knowledge and wisdom from a variety of places, which I think is really healthy. I think it's good. I don't think you ever want to receive 100% of your knowledge or your influence from one person. That's usually when something like a cult happens and you have one individual who is very charismatic, who knows how to talk, who knows how to, you know, shape your mind. And we are malleable human beings. So if you get attached to somebody like that and you realize like, oh my gosh, this person is the savior, like I'm gonna throw out all my knowledge from all these other sources and I'm just gonna get it from this one source, that's when you get a cult. That's when you have this inability to receive knowledge from other sources. I think it's also what separates cults from religions, because even in the most extreme forms of Christianity, you are gaining knowledge from other forms of text. Hopefully it's not just the Bible, because if you live exactly by the Bible word for word, yikes, like run away if you've got a tattoo, run away if you've got a piercing, like don't eat shellfish, don't eat pork. There are so many things that if you take the Bible as 100% accurate, word for word, you live by it, you observe every religious tradition that we no longer look at, you observe all of the different things about how to build a church and how many cubits it has to be and all of these things, that is cult-like behavior, because you are gaining your knowledge from one specific source. No hate to Christians. I grew up in a Christian church. I find many of the teachings extremely influential in my daily life, and I put them into practice. But I'm just saying, as an example, getting your knowledge from one source is really dangerous. So branch out a little bit, just a little, please. So yeah, wow, I just had to pick like a controversial topic to end this on, didn't I? Hopefully the comments don't roast me, but we'll see. Fair enough. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're able to find a brand new source of wisdom this week that, I don't know, lets you see the world in a really interesting and intricate way and changes your perspective. I hope you're able to just find one mentor figure or one source of knowledge that makes you go, wow, I never saw it that way. Because that's what I try to do. And I'm always looking for new knowledge, new information and sources, and hopefully it leads me to a better place. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.